I'm Amy Clark, and I own Amy Clark Studios in the Short North. I started out with a company called Baby Step Studios. It was started in 2007, right around the time that my second child was a baby. I just wanted to have something to do to kind of get back into being Amy and not just being my kids' parents. And so we started out just doing friends and family pictures, and it quickly developed into a much bigger business than we expected. But we still had a lot of people contacting us wanting to do things that weren't necessarily baby oriented, so the name was kind of holding us back as far as being able to expand the business. So in November we moved into the studio space here in the Short North, and we decided to do a little bit of rebranding and change the name to Amy Clark Studios, which has allowed us to rebrand and include business profile sessions, headshots, modeling portfolios, things like that. Just about everything that we do is posted on either Facebook or Twitter at some point in time. We kind of use the two slightly different. Our Facebook is more geared for our parents. From sessions, we post all the sneak peeks to Facebook, so they get their first 8 pictures, 10 pictures from the session within the first couple days, so they're really excited to see those pictures. We put them on Facebook, they tag themselves in them, they share them with all their family and friends, so they get all kinds of comments from that. We also run contests and things on Facebook. We use Twitter more for our business profiles, networking, headshots, and that kind of thing. There aren't as many parents that use Twitter as opposed to using Facebook. So the business kind of divides between the two of them. We, from the get-go, have really not done any advertising to get the name out there. I've never paid for advertising, so everything has pretty much been based around social media. Like I said, we've run lots of contests throughout the time. We run cutest kid contests a couple times a year, where potential clients, anyone can send on an image of their kid. We then post them and people go and vote for them. We just finished a cutest kid contest about a week ago. We had over 450 people new people who came to the site to vote for those children to end up winning one of the free sessions. So that was a good way to drive new clients to the site who may not have heard of us, but their friends entered the contest. So that's been a good way for us to kind of get the word out there. Yeah, we were actually just contacted a few months ago from the Columbus Arts Ball, which is a big ball that goes on every year and benefits a different charity every year. This year they're benefiting the Autism Society of Ohio. And we had actually been introduced to the owner of Jane TV through a networking event that we had gone to. And she then had talked to the head of the Columbus Arts Ball, who then contacted us through Facebook to see if we'd be interested in being part of the event and doing anything for the event. So we decided that we would participate by doing an art project called The Faces of Autism. For the Faces of Autism project, my idea was to get as many different children as we could to come into the studio for a quick little free session, do a photograph of them, and then put it all together into one big art piece. It'll be on a big puzzle piece. My son has autism, so I knew I could get a few people from his school to come in, but I wasn't sure how I was going to I wanted to have 50 to 100 kids participate in this project. So we put it all over Twitter, we put it all over Facebook, we put it on a couple of the forums on Facebook that were for autistic families. And I thought I would get a couple families here and there, but we have just been completely flooded with people wanting to be part of this project. They just want to get the awareness out there, and they're more than willing to participate. So it's been great. They've been sharing it on their walls and telling all of their friends, and so it's really helped us to get an amazing group of kids for this project. It's definitely an amazing thing to do. I've heard so many businesses who don't have a Twitter or who say, there's no reason to have Facebook. I don't care about that. I don't need Facebook. And I would say you definitely need to have a Twitter. You definitely need to have Facebook. If you're not using it, you're missing out on a huge chunk of the population that you could be reaching for free. There are campaigns that you can pay for to run contests and promotions and things like that. But up until a couple weeks ago, we had never done anything like that. We had just done everything based on, we would post it on our wall and people come. And the amazing thing about it is that they then share it with their friends. And the way Facebook is set up, the second you click on something and you click like, it then is put on your wall for everyone else to see. So then their friends see it and say, hey, I wonder what that's all about. It's one of those things, well, my friend likes it, so maybe I would like it. So then it kind of just goes viral from there. So if they're not using Facebook or Twitter's slightly different in that it's not as, you see it constantly that your friend liked it. But I think it's easy for people because they can easily just click retweet and post it out to all of their friends and anyone who follows them. So our Twitter exposure is much more national, whereas our Facebook exposure, I think, is much more local. It's more parents and families. But both of those are really good. We actually, I was contacted by Cure Magazine, which is a cancer magazine based out of Texas, and we've done several photo shoots for them just based on, they found us on Twitter, looked at the website, and have had us do photo shoots for different people who are here in Columbus that they need for that magazine. So it's definitely out there. Even if you're a small little company that doesn't think you need a national reach, there's definitely stuff out there that you can get through Twitter or Facebook. We actually don't do any paid advertising. We at one point in time did have ads in Columbus Parent Magazine. For 3 years, I was the cover photographer for Columbus Parent Magazine. So in exchange for that, they gave us an ad every month in their magazine. Through that 3 years, we got some clients from it, but definitely not a huge response from an actual physical print ad. So we haven't really pursued a paid advertising in magazines, newspapers, that kind of thing. We've seen a huge difference between that and posting events and ads and specials on Facebook and Twitter. I think nowadays people don't necessarily pay much attention to the newspapers or to a magazine that they pick up in the doctor's office, whereas on Facebook it's there, it's right in front of them when they log on that morning, and they can easily see it. They can click the link to immediately email us and immediately set up that session, whereas in traditional advertising and print media, you have to cut it out and remember to go back and call that person later. So I definitely think that the digital media, social media has definitely been the route for us to go as far as getting new clients and getting new business.